Hey, listen, everyone, as always from Lead Forward, we just want to say thanks, and we love you and appreciate you being along, allowing us to be along the journey with you. And we hope that you guys have a rocking good time at Rockin Review today. We'll play around with a lot of rock themes in this, but I want to start out by doing this. Let's start out and just have a little chat together. So everyone go find your chat and be ready to type something in. I want you to think back. What was your most memorable concert experience? Okay, so if you have a most memorable concert experience, find it in chat, type in your most memorable concert experience. Please start watching some of those. While those are going, hey, Nancy, can I invite you to the conversation? All right, so Nancy, I know you have a good, memorable concert experience. Talk to us about yours.
The best. So my daughter is a Taylor Swift fan, and she wrangles her daddy and I to kind of dress in costume. So when we went to the 1989 tour, we got noticed by Taylor Nation. They came up and gave us tickets to the front row. Best concert ever.
That is awesome. Yeah, mine doesn't rival that, Nancy. But for me, it was I can remember taking my son to his first concert. Jack went with us to Billy Joel at Wrigley Field. It was fantastic. I saw some other Billy Joel people in here, and Jack. All that work, Jack went with us. He was asleep by the third song of the concert. So it was memorable for us, maybe not for him. But all right, Cleve, what about you? Got a memorable concert?
Absolutely. So my first concert is my most memorable concert. I got to see U2, Joshua Tree here in Austin at the Frank Irwin Center, which is no longer. So it was amazing. My mind was blown, to say the least. And I do see there's a ton of Taylor Swifts in here. Garth Brooks. I'm sorry, I don't see a ton of Billy Joel, Justin.
There was a few. It's an acquired taste for sure. But anyway, it's out there. It's people. I also saw LL Cool J come through, and I have a little bit of concert envy for that. So anyway, this is awesome, you guys. Thanks for doing that. And listen, the reason I wanted to share, get some folks thinking about their memorable concert experiences is for this. I mean, Clee, we have been to the concert, right? And some of us even have the t-shirt to prove it. So we've gone out, we've done that. We went, we had the experience. We have some things that remind us of that experience that we had. But I want to make this connection with you guys whenever we think back to review right now. Out in class right now, you're giving kids the experience. They're going to the concert. The stuff that you guys are doing right now in class that you've been doing all year long up to this point, that's the stuff that's really making a difference for students in terms of their learning, in terms of them being ready to show growth this year. That's the good stuff. Keep doing that. Because in STAR, especially when we come to STAR review, it's not time to go back to the concert. Clee, we're not going to get the water bottles out and get the balloons out again. We did that. What we need to do is help students transfer that experience that they had to this other learning and see if they can pull forward all of those cool things that they remember about this current school year, and can they now apply that to a test item whenever they see this. And so in review, y'all, you guys right now, the call to action is keep rocking, keep doing your thing, keep having fun with students, giving them engaging experiences, setting up demonstrations, going through and doing investigations, reading, writing, solving problems, having debates. Do those things now, because whenever we get to STAR review, we're going to leverage some of that with folks. Now, Cleve, one of the dangers is if we're really looking at those item types, we could end up creating review that creates this feeling, right? Wah, wah, for kids, and we don't want to do that. So the structure we have for you guys is this, that what we want to create is an opportunity for kids to have a review that leaves them feeling confident and competent moving into the STAR test. So how do we create some time right before the test to create confidence in our kids? They can do this, and competence. We know this stuff. And so we have some time to come through and do this with you, but we have some fantastic people who are going to lead these sessions with you today. So here's the Rockin' crew from Lead Forward. You guys are looking good out there. So you'll have fun with them. Ask them the hard questions. Bring some of your best thinking forward, because it's all together. We'll create something awesome. Now, being part of a virtual conference at times can be kind of clunky. And so we want to make sure we try to smooth some of this out for you. Well, Cleve, do you mind coming on and helping us understand the flow of the conference today? And let's make sure people are feeling good about where they are.
Okay. All right. So here you can see on the screen, we have our schedule for today. You're at the kickoff. So this is the kickoff keynote. And once we're done here, you'll go to your breakout session or you'll have a break. I'm sorry, I missed the most important part. You're not the most important part, but one of the important parts is take a little brain break. And then at 9:45, you'll come to the breakout session, and you're probably thinking, well, how do I get to that breakout session? Well, the way you get to that breakout session is the same way that you got to this keynote. When you click on the link of the email that you got this morning, and you go into SWOGO, which is our registration system, you clicked on the keynote link to get here. And there will also be a breakout session link, and that is how you'll get into your breakout session at 9:45. So you're going to stay in there with those amazing presenters that Justin showed until 11:30. And then we're going to have a lunch break. When you come back from lunch, you'll go back to that same link for that breakout session and go back into that for the afternoon. And that's till about 3:00. And if you have any trouble, I'm going to put in, for those of you that are just now coming in, I'm going to put in a help desk link. You can also always get us at info@Lead Forward. So there's lots of ways to get hold of us if you have any trouble with any of that. The other thing you'll see at the bottom of the screen is that we have a hashtag Rockin Review 2023, and we want you to use that. We want to hear about all the amazing things that you're learning about in your sessions today. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of the things. So show us and tell us all the awesome stuff that you're learning today. All right, Justin, I'm handing it back to you.
All right, fantastic. So, Cleve, thank you for helping us understand the flow of the day today. And I know there are lots of questions coming into chat, so I'll let you start thinking about those. And I'm going to help people out with this. One of the comments that came into chat was talking about the handout, and I want to help you guys access the materials. So do me a favor. I'm going to show you, I'll walk you through this step by step, make sure you guys are successful in finding this. But get a little piece of paper. Can you guys grab a sticky note or something just out to the side? And I want you to write down a couple of key words, and I think this will help you out. So the first thing is, if you're going to access all of the materials for this, the first place you want to go is go to the Lead Forward website. So you might just type in Lead Forward website, and you can see it there, leadforward.com. And when you go to the website, go ahead and click that sign in button. You'll see it's on the far right-hand side. So whenever you're wanting to access the handout, two things: go to Lead Forward website and click on the sign in button. And when you click that sign in button, it's actually going to take you out to our login page. And when you log in here, it's just like stuff you've done in the past. If you've been to a Lead Forward session in the past, in the recent past especially, you probably set up an account already with us. So you'll just follow the prompts. Go in and put your username and password. That's something you created, not your district. It's just yours. And you can enter those right here. Now, if you say, Justin, I have no idea if I've created a login here or not, then there's some helpful tip links right below there. So you can set up your account. If you ever set up anything in Netflix or Amazon, you just go through and click some stuff and it will set up the account for you. If you can't remember your username or password, there's links for you to go in and click and do that as well. So Cleve, one of the things I would recommend people doing is at this first break, go ahead and head out to the Lead Forward website and sign in to the dashboard. And that'll give you some time to get this set up. When you get into the dashboard, this is what it looks like. There's some information in the middle. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see a whole bunch of different options for you to choose from. Now, Clea, I have a pop question for you. Are you ready? If you were wanting to add these materials to your dashboard, what link would you click?
Add materials.
All right, good. So I want to be successful with this. So yeah, you guys just look, whenever you're ready to add the materials for this conference, you just click add materials. And it's going to say, cool, if you want to add the materials, then what's your code? And here's the code. So this is the next thing you want to write down. After you go to the website, you sign in, go to add materials, then enter this code. The code is here for kids. All lowercase, all together, and the number 4. And you can see that on the screen right now. So you'll just type in here for kids and hit submit. And it's going to give you a little positive feedback. Woosah, you got it. It's there. And it says in that green box, just go over and click my materials and you'll find those there. So that's how you'll access all of the good stuff that you need for this conference that we're having today. When you do add those, you'll see it comes up there at the front. Do you see it's right at the top? It says 2023 Rockin Review Conference. And there's a button that says, take me there. And when you go there, it's actually what I love about the conference is that you guys get access to everything. So look at the top of this. Whenever you go in and add your materials, it's going to give you tabs for every session we're doing today. So you can go in, if you're a math person, you're here for the math session, but you want to see what the leaders are learning about or see what the science folks have, you have access to all of that. So you just pick your tab at the top, and then you'll notice under your tab, that first link right there typically is the handout. And that would be good for you to go ahead and print. If you had your handout printed for your first session this morning, whenever you head over there, that'd probably be a good idea. So on this first break, take some time to sign in and get your handout printed. And then you can take notes all over that, and we'll be good to go. If you guys are learning from home, I know some of you are learning from home and you can't print, at least have your handout downloaded so that you can access those resources. You can have access to those and follow along with the rest of the folks. So y'all, that's a brief overview of how we get to the print for this. If I pause for just a second, is there anything in chat or anything that I can clarify about this?
Well, yeah, about this, someone, I think there's one person that said that the code isn't working. I'm going to put the link for help desk in there. Again, they can help you with that. We not only have people to help just in general, but also tech folks there. So I definitely want you guys to be able to get to that. If people are still having trouble getting in, because I see a lot of that still, I'm going to put a link in there for the YouTube, which we're streaming.
I can't hear either one of you.
Okay, I'm not sure. Justin, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. And then I lost my train of thought there. Oh, someone asked if they will, how long they'll have access to these materials. And you'll have access to these materials for a long time, definitely through review season, as long as you have an account with Lead Forward. So those stay up there for you to have as a reference and use. I think that's about it. Just I'll put the instructions in there.
All right, very good. And I would just recommend to you guys, if you're having a tough time, if something's choppy in Zoom, again, that link to the YouTube may be helpful for folks to go out and watch that YouTube link on there. So there you go. That's what we're working on for you guys. I hope that's helpful for you. Again, find that help desk if you're needing some help getting the materials, and we'll get those materials in for you guys as we're going on. Okay, so that's a lot of the setup. Now let's just start talking about this idea of why. Why are we here in the first place for this review conference? And so I want to take some time and talk through this. What are the different things that you're hoping to accomplish whenever you're walking through this? So here's a few options. So find your chat, and you guys chat in for me on this one. What is it that you're hoping to gain from this? Is it STAR 2.0 stuff? There's some new item types, there's some new test design. I want to learn a little bit more about that and how that impacts STAR. Or is it just time to collaborate? I wanted time to learn with others, get some ideas, bring those to the table. Maybe it's about growth. I just wanted to refocus, take some time to get my team to refocus on growth. Or we're new to review. So I've never been part of review, or I have a team member who's never been part of review. They need to get this from the ground up. Or are you just looking for a few ideas? You know, I want a little help with rigor, or I want a little help with engagement, or is there just something else? So it's awesome to see. There's lots of stuff coming in chat right now to talk to us about what we're seeing. And Clea, I don't know about you, I'm kind of watching the different patterns of things coming in. Lots of comments about STAR 2.0. That's good. But then there's also people are here for all kinds of different reasons that we're seeing. So that's fantastic. And one of the things I want to encourage you guys to do is lean into that. If you're here because you're brand new and you need everything from scratch, we're going to help you walk away with a plan for that. If you've been doing this for a while, you have a review plan already on your campus, you just want some more ideas, we're going to help you do that. So know that there's a lot of people, when you're in breakout rooms with folks, there's folks, we're here for lots of different reasons. Value the fact that that's where you are. And also for you, get what you need out of this one, and be sure to talk to the presenters and let them know what you're after as well, and they can really help you out with that. So this is going to be good. So I see lots of different reasons why we're in here today. But now, Clea, I want to flip it just a little bit. So talk to me about this. I think about this image for just a second, and I want you to tell me in chat, can you just give me a little information? What is it that you're doing either right now in class or you've done in review in the past that just rocks? Like, it is a really good practice. It works for kids. We're going to keep doing that with this new thing. In this new testing environment, we're going to keep doing this in this version of our review session. What is it that you're doing with kids that is really creating growth with them? And take a second, you guys, if you're watching chat, read through some of those things, because this one, I think this is a really important conversation to have, what's working out there. And if it's working for you, we want you to keep going, keep using that. That's going to be fantastic for students. So you can see lots of cool things coming in there in chat. And then I would say, I wouldn't necessarily type this into chat, but I want you to think about this. This one might be one that you want to write down on the side. So what are those practices that they had their time, they had their moment, but it might be time to retire those now? So is there anything that you guys are doing, you're doing as a campus or as a team, that you just say, you know, it was great when we were doing this, it was a good decision then, but it's time to let it go. And we're going to be bold. We're going to let go of this, and we're going to try to lean into something different as we're going forward. And that's an important thing to think about as well in this. So what is it? We can't always just add. So you guys are doing some cool stuff. Keep doing that cool stuff. We'll share some more. But is there anything that you're doing that you're ready to just let go of for a while? We're going to be bold, and we're going to let go of those. So I see lots of cool things coming in with this, lots of things about packets and worksheets. So I think we're on the same page with those things. So, y'all, I'm going to go in and let's get this. I'm going to organize our keynote around the big ideas that you'll learn today out in those content sessions. And I'm going to do that in 3 different areas. I'm going to help you guys prioritize. So how do we make sure that we're focusing on the right stuff? We're going to organize. So we're going to make sure that you're ready to go with your plan. And then we're going to talk about the importance of energize. How do we get kids to bring us their very best during this time of review? So prioritize, organize, and energize. And I'm going to start with prioritize for you. So when we talk about finding priorities for this, I want to go back, Clea, and I'm going to talk about Spotify just recently released their Wrapped for 2022. And Spotify will go through and tell you what songs were the most downloaded or most streamed songs in the United States. Can you guys guess? Can you guess one of them? What do you think? Clea, you got any ideas?
Well, I did watch the Grammys, and I'm thinking Harry Styles has got to be on the list somewhere.
Okay, so here we go. The top 3 most downloaded are right here.
In this world,
You are right.
it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was.
It shows my age a little bit because I've heard of Harry Styles, but the other 2, I think they're making those up. I think those are real people. So anyway, okay, so that's it. If you look at the most streamed songs in the United States, there you go for the 3. But here's what I want to flip this over just a second. So if we flip the question for you guys, what are the top 3 most assessed topics on STAR? So I want you to think about your grade level and your content area. Can you take a guess? What do you think what was assessed most frequently on STAR in the past for your grade level, your subject area? Okay, I see lots of good stuff coming in. So there's some ideas out there about this. And one of the things I want to introduce you to a document that you'll be interacting with out in your content sessions. This document is called the frequency distribution. And we will share a frequency distribution for you in your content area, your grade level. And you'll be able to use this document to go in and look at, so for the past several years in STAR, how frequently were different topics assessed? And then we can start looking at those items that were, or those areas that were assessed most frequently to find our priorities for STAR. And one of the things we want to do is say, if we could just focus on these few areas, then we could really end up getting a lot of bang for our buck in this. And Nancy, we're numbers people. We like those numbers. And so whenever a lot of times what I'll hear districts say, and I want to share this with a word of caution, because what we'll hear districts say is we're going to give a benchmark late in the year. and we're going to run the data and analyze the data from our benchmark. And we're going to pick the 3 areas that we did the worst on in the benchmark. And we're going to form a review around the areas that need the most help. Y'all, there's a couple of issues with that. And one is that sometimes when we do that, we'll end up picking areas that don't have much bang for their buck on the test. There may be only an item or 2 on the test. And we've spent a lot of review time trying to prep kids for something that's not going to be heavily tested. So one of them is it could distract us. We could end up picking something that's not frequently tested. The other thing is kind of goes back to an affect, how we feel about this. And my gosh, Nancy, how would you feel if the teacher came in and said, for the next 10 days, we're going to focus on the stuff you stink at the most. I, as a teacher, didn't enjoy teaching it. I couldn't get you to learn it whenever I taught it the first time. And you had a tough time with that. I mean, we're going to have kids that are going to be frustrated before the test, teachers that are going to be frustrated before the test. So one of the things we want to talk about when we're talking about finding priorities, let's go back to the frequency distribution. Let's find the areas that were tested the most, and let's form a review around those things that we stand to get the most bang for our buck on. And you know what? It might be an area where kids did really well on. That's awesome. That means they're going to go into the test feeling confident and competent about themselves and their ability to go be successful on the test. So that's one of the areas that will help you use with this. And the other thing that we're going to do to help you find priorities is use this document. It's called a quick start guide. And you'll get these quick start guides for those different areas that are highly tested. The quick start guide, again, it takes all of that content that you could review for a test, and it narrows it down to say, this is what, if we can focus on these things, this planning, this content will give us, again, our best chance at being successful on STAR moving forward. So you can see this one is one for 5th grade science, and it's looking at physical properties of matter. That's huge. There's a lot of planning that could go into that. How do we narrow that planning down to those areas that are the most could give us the most bang for our buck? So anyway, that's what we're going to look at whenever we go with this. The quick start guides, you're going to love those, and that will help you find priorities as well. Now, we talked about prioritize. I want to talk about organize. How do we organize for a concert? I mean, how do rock stars organize for a concert? Because that's what you guys are. That's what we are today. And I'll tell you, I'm going to go back and give you an example. It's not my most memorable concert, but it was my most recent concert. Back in September, I had a chance to go see, everyone lean forward a little bit.
Well, I've been around, but I ain't never seen a guy who looks like a Muppet, but he's wrinkled and green. Oh, my Yoda.
Yeah, I had to go back and see one of my childhood heroes, Weird Al, in concert whenever he was up in our part of there. My 12-year-old self would never have forgiven me if I'd have skipped out on this opportunity. So whenever I got a chance to go see Weird Al in concert, at the end of the concert, he stands up, he waves goodbye to everyone. Someone typed in this, he's still alive. Of course he's still alive. He's rocking. So whenever he stood up at the end of the concert, waved by, he reached down on the stage and he picked up 3 pieces of paper. And those 3 pieces of paper, he handed them out to people in the front row as he was leaving. And I wasn't in the front row, but I could look over the shoulder and see what he handed out. And he handed out these. Does anyone know what this is? Yeah, it's a set list. That's right. So this was the set list of his concert for that evening. And here are the lists of songs he was going to play. And do you guys see that dotted line on there? That dotted line is where they stand up in a concert. You know, that part where they go, thank you very much. And they walk off stage and everyone chants and says, come back. And they actually walk back out and sing some more songs. All that was planned ahead of time. You had nothing to do with them coming back out. It was there. But on a set list, that's how they organize this in a rock concert. And for our review, we're going to organize around the same thing. We're going to organize around a set list. And here's the lead forward set list that you'll be introduced to today out in your sessions. And for us, set list is spelled SETT, set list. And that stands for stimulus, engagement, thinking, and transfer. Those are the things we need to focus on in terms of planning to make sure that we're having kids doing the type of thinking that will lead to success ultimately on STAR. And whenever we talk about this, we look at stimulus first. We're going to see our students given the opportunity to interact with and to create, to see lots of different various stimulus as they're working through review, because we don't know, we know a lot of the content, but we don't know what it's going to look like necessarily. So they have to be able to go in and interact, see lots of different stimulus and interact with those, learn from those, and create their own at times. Then we're going to pick some strategies to increase engagement. So whenever we do this, we want students to feel and teachers to feel very confident in the engaging activities that are going on. And then we want to finish up this set list with the idea of thinking. Our kids doing lots of thinking as they're doing it. Because if we vary the thinking, whenever they come to an item, they'll be able to think lots about it. But the last T we added for this year in particular, for that STAR 2.0, transition. So we wanted to look at transfer, the idea of transfer. And when we talk about transfer this time, could students, if they interact with these type of items that exist right now, we have access to lots of these, can they transfer the type of thinking required in this item over to an item that might be more open-ended or look like some of those new item types? And some of you guys will have some documents that will help you out with this. Our people actually went out and did some of these, created some of these new item types for you, so you can have those side-by-side comparisons and help students see the idea that the stuff is the same. It's just how you communicate what you know that changes. And will help students feel more confident about that, their ability to transfer learning. So you're gonna love that part of this. Okay, that's it. So we talked about prioritizing. We're gonna organize around the set list. And the last thing is energize. So we want to make sure that students, you guys are having fun. Students are having fun for these last 10 days right before the test. So how do we energize? We're going to encourage you guys to energize around your greatest hits. So think about this, y'all. Whenever we get to review, we don't want to teach new strategies. We don't want to teach new activities to students. Let's go back to some of those things that you're already having success with in class. Whenever you do this strategy, kids know how to do it. You know how to manage it well. It's going to be a successful day of learning. Let's go back to your greatest hits. And Clee, let's do a little activity to model this. Let's just show you the power of greatest hits. So here's what I want you guys to do. Do me a favor. Think about this. Of these images, which of these represent how you consumed music as a teenager? Okay, how did you consume music as a teenager? Was it this, the cassette? And you can type it in if that's you. Was it this, the CD, or was it this, your digital? So let me know in there. So let's see who we have. Man, we got a lot of CDs and cassettes coming in. All right, we got a few digital folks out there with us as well. I'm curious, Clee, which one were you?
Mainly cassette. So I'm in great company. Now, towards the end of teenage years, definitely CD, but I would say mainly cassette.
Yeah, me too. So I had that cassette and kind of borderlined on the CDs later on, but most of my music consumption growing up was on the cassette as well. So, okay, so we got, and I see some people hollering out 8 tracks too. So yes. I'm not leaving you out. We're just going with this. So you can pick one of these if you want to. You can pretend for a while to be. Yeah. No one's going to check. No one's going to check. So, okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to share a little icon below these. So at some point, you're going to see a music note come up underneath yours. If that's your symbol, that's your time to interact with this. Okay. So whenever that music note's up, CDs, you're on the clock for me. Whenever the music note comes up over here, cassettes, you got it. Digital folks, here's where yours is. So what I'm going to do, Clee, let's do a little finish the lyrics on this. Okay. So I'm going to play a song. And I'm going to play part of a song, and then I'm going to stop it. And wherever I stop the song, I want you guys to finish the lyrics for me. So, and this is, you get weird. If you're out there, if you're surrounded by other people, they're going to look at you like, what the heck are you doing? You're weird right now. So sing. I want you to type it in the next lyric as fast as you can if you want to, or I even dare one or two of you to unmute and sing the lyrics for the rest of us. So let's see what happens here. But we're going to go. We're going to start out with the cassette tapes. Okay, so here we go. Lean forward. If you're a cassette person, get ready to type in, finish the lyric, or someone unmute and let me know what you're thinking. Ready, set.
You think you change your mind? You'd better change it back or we will both be sorry.
Don't you want me, baby?
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, You guys are in right now. So we got some Don't You Want Me Babies in there. We got some nice singing too, by the way. You were dead on with that one. So this is awesome. Okay. So that's good. Cassettes, nice job. You know where you are. CDs, here's your chance. So, okay, CD people, lean forward a little bit. This is yours. Ready, set, go.
Tell me why ain't nothing but love. Tell me why ain't nothing but love. Stay. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say
I want it that way.
Fantastic. Good job, guys. Oh, that's
Tell me why.
I see my people out there. Nice singing. This is great. Okay, so cassettes, nice job. CDs, you brought it. You brought another level to this one. All right, digital folks, or if you're just feeling like you're young today, this is yours. Okay, so you jump in. Anyone that wants to jump in with this one, let's see. I'm going to level it up. Let's see what you guys got. So here we go. All right, digital people.
why men great till they gotta be great. Don't text me and tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting.
New man on the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah,
Maybe something so exciting.
okay, you guys got to stop singing those lyrics now because it goes a different place where we can only go that far with them. But okay, Leslie, yeah, that's right. Okay, awesome job, guys. Listen, here's the thing, and by the way, you guys sound fantastic today, so keep it going. What we want to do is think about this. When you get to this point of picking strategies or picking activities for review, you want the kids to respond the same way. I don't want to teach you the lyrics. We're not learning new songs. We're going back to the songs you already know so that you can pick it up right away and sing on. You want the kids to finish your sentences whenever we get here. And we're going to help you out with that. Here's another resource that you're going to get to play with today whenever you're out in your sessions. This is called the Instructional Connections document. It goes back to those STAR 2.0 type of thinking. One of the things we did is we said, okay, what type of thinking are students really asked to do on STAR? Like boil it all down. Don't get caught up in all the different item types. What type of thinking are we doing? And here we got it down to 3 different areas. Here's one. We said that students are going to be asked to make and justify choices. There's lots of item types that they'll look at. Ultimately, all they're doing is pick something and justify why. And on this resource, we put down some strategies that really help students make and justify choices. The second area was this: create and use stimuli. That there are several item types that are going to require students to interact with some stimuli or create their own stimuli to make meaning. And here are some strategies that could help with that. And the last one was think, talk, and write. If students are in class thinking, talking, and writing regularly, they're going to be getting prepared for several of these other different item types. So if we could have these 3 types of thinking happening over and over and over again in class, then I think we're going to have students mentally, cognitively, thinking-wise ready to take this test and be successful on it. And then y'all pick some of the strategies and let's start using those now. Let's play with them so that whenever we get to review, we can say, okay, guys, welcome to review. Today we're going to do Mindbender. And it's just like that musical note pops up and they go, yep, I know the lyrics to this. I know how to do this strategy. So now is the time, get in, practice some of these strategies, play with them, figure out how to manage those. So when you get to review, you're not wasting time trying to teach a strategy. You're spending your time on helping students do the thinking that's required for this. And Clee, the whole reason we do this is to help kids feel more confident and competent going into the test. And that's the purpose around the design we have for review, because we know when kids are confident and competent in this, they're going to give us their very best effort. So y'all, if I'm wrapping up the keynote today, here's a summary of this. First of all, we want to prioritize. Let's look at what's tested most frequently. Let's build our review around the stuff that's going to give us the biggest bang for the buck. Prioritize. Then the second one is let's organize. How do we organize these days of review? Let's organize it around a set list. And we, just like a good rock concert, we'll get kids to do the type of thinking we need them to do during review if we organize around the set list. And the last one is energize. How do we energize? Let's pick some strategies that we feel confident about in terms of of our leadership and instruction in class, and that students feel confident about using it, and we'll get them energized through several of those. And y'all, if we can pull those things together, we are so going to create a review that just rocks, right? So that's it. Thank you guys for letting us hang out with you in the keynote today. Clea and I are going to hang out. I'm going to play a song. We'll play you guys out of here. And then at some point, I'm going to stop the song and I'm going to stay on. Clea's going to stay on right here. And we will answer, we'll help you guys out with any questions you have, anything that you need us to step back through, we'll step back through. But if you guys got what you need from the keynote, you're feeling good about this, you know where you're headed for that next session, then I'll play the song. You guys give us a wave and you can get out of here. And then before we start the song, Clea, anything else from you?
Yeah, we had a ton of people come in after I said this at the beginning, so I just wanted to say it again real quick. Well, first, thank you for being here. And second of all, if you're trying to get into your breakout session, you just go back to the place where you got this link, and you should have a link for your breakout session. If you have any trouble with that, info@leadforward.com can help, or I'll put the help desk link into the chat. Okay, let's play the song, and then Justin and I will stay on here and you can ask us individual questions.
Great. So you guys enjoy the music. In just a second, we'll stop it and we'll have other conversations. Ready? Yeah. Have fun.